So let's just start kind of high level about where you kind of see the forces driving the copper market right now and how AI plays into all of that.
I think there's a number of factors driving the market, and you've got to start with the supply issue always. And, over the last 10, 20 years, you've had a dearth of mining investment in the source of raw materials, whether it's existing mines upgrading the mineral reserves or finding new deposits. And then so there's been a complete lack of that. And then you have the existing mines. Mm-hmm. A lot of them, especially in South America, have declining grades. So if you look at some of the mine grades in Chile, in that you're running at 0.9, 0.7, 0.8%, that means you've really got to move 100, 110 tons of dirt to produce 1 ton of copper. And how much does it cost to move that 100 tons of dirt when you look at fuel costs, human costs, vehicle costs, etc., etc.? So you've got that issue in the supply side, and then obviously on the demand side, you've got these hyperscalers requiring 50-odd thousand tons of copper per unit. So you multiply that over a whole series of hyperscaler data centers being built out.
In terms of regions of the world where you are most bullish, is it fair to say it would be DRC?
I'm very bullish on the DRC on the basis it's very, very underexplored, and historically it's been in constant conflict.
Which is why it's probably underexplored.
Correct. And the new government under Felix that's coming in his second term, where he's not in a coalition with Kabila, he's done an exceptional job. There's a lot of investment going in the country, roads being built. You go into Kinshasa, there's a lot of infrastructure being built, buildings, and a lot of mining investment. You had $32+ billion of mineral exports last year, the highest ever for the DRC, and it's on track to do probably in excess of 50 billion this year. So a huge amount of investment in copper. But what's exciting about Congo is the copper grade. So if you look at the average grade in Congo is running 2, 3, 4, some deposits 6%. Means you've got to move a lot less dirt to produce the same ton of copper than you do in a lot of these South American jurisdictions.
How do the customers of the buyers of copper, how do they access the copper? Is it a market where there's still, I guess, more demand than there is supply, and it's getting even harder?
At the moment, demand exceeds supply. I mean, even going into this year, I think you're going to have a 300,000-400,000 ton shortfall. Mm-hmm. And I see the banks, they're targeting 13,800 at the year end. Sort of my own prediction would be more on 15,000 tons.
Oh, wow.
So you saw Codelco recently announced 20% reduction in supply. I'm not sure if Grasberg has fixed its issues in Asia. So, and with the demand going, where's the supply coming from?
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the history of conflict in the DRC, and it's also right now in the news as a result of what's happening with Ebola. And I'm curious about how that affects, you're on the ground there. Yeah. Oftentimes. It's one of the places you split your time between. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? How does that affect the industry? I mean, it's a story about infectious disease and it's a story about people, but it's also a story that affects exports.
I mean, Ebola at the moment is concentrated in that northeast area around Punya, and it hasn't really spread, and it kind of self-contains itself, and over time it burns out. I mean, in 2014, mm-hmm. we were in the Ebola area of Guinea, near Nzerekore, where we were exploring iron ore. And again, as long as you sort of hygienic and you're not sort of getting involved in any way with the locals, and as far as sexual activity, as far as, it's all driven by semen, saliva, and blood. It's not an airborne disease.
Dr. Amish Adalja from the Bloomberg School of Public Health was on our program on Friday, and he reminded us about how, we hear about how it spreads, but he reminded us this is blood and bodily fluids.
Correct.
Is the way
exactly
that this spreads.
And one of the traditions in African culture, when a body dies, they wash it, and then they all hug the body. And the Ebola virus sits on the body. And that's one of the big issues in their culture of perpetuating.
But for you and for your business, not an issue?
No, it's not an issue really. We've got all our staff are well aware of the risks. We run a program informing everybody of what to do and what not to do. So don't eat bush meat, don't eat bat meat, don't eat fruit that bats like because they urinate on the bat.
Does this current outbreak make you spend less time there? Or will you go back?
No, I'll go back. It's no, no problem. It's no problem.
Okay.
As I said, it's not an airborne disease. If Ebola was an airborne disease, I'd be staying, a million miles away. But it's not an airborne disease. It's it's a bodily fluid disease. Mm-hmm. So as long as you avoid bodily fluids in whatever shape or form, you're okay.
Okay.
So it's not a huge risk.
I do want to end just going back to copper here and the role, how you see the U.S.'s role kind of playing into this, because are you seeing, guys, an increase in manufacturing and mining in the U.S.?
I can't comment on that because I don't know too much what's happening in the US. Sort of my if you want to call it expertise, is working in the DRC and finding high-grade copper assets that we can develop. But one advantage with us is we haven't signed any offtake or done any offtake agreements with anybody yet. So all our copper will be coming hopefully to the United States.
What's the way that you identify a deposit?
We identify the deposit normally looking at surface mineralization, where you look at the copper oxidization on the surface, and that's very, very visible in Congo. And I'll just run you through quickly how we discovered Butembo. We have a sort of way of discovering deposits in the DRC, with whatever mineral it is, and our local team called us at our office in Lumumbashi and said, guys, you come up here, there's very interesting copper. And how it was discovered in that area of Butembo, the locals were digging from the top surface through the laterite and then through an oxidized mineral layer of copper. So you looked at about 10, 12 meters of ore, and they were panning for gold and getting very nice lumpy gold, 3, 4, 5 grams a ton out. But then at the bottom, they hit almost a layer of cement, of green cement, which was your solid copper. And then they'd move on to the next sort of 50 meters, 100 meters away, do the same, you'd hit the same. And it was over and over. So we then flew up there with our team, we brought in an excavator.
Right.
And we dug along strike 1.2 kilometers.
And you found it, Andrew Groves.